So, growing up, I was definitely that kid people picked on. School wasn't exactly a safe space for me. I was different, and as you probably already know, different isn't always welcomed with open arms when you're a kid. No matter what I did, whether I stayed true to myself or tried to blend in, I still ended up being the target. And back then, I didn't realize how much all of that would follow me into adulthood. Spoiler alert, it followed me a lot. As I got older and started doing the whole figuring out who I am thing, I started noticing patterns, like how I was constantly hyper aware of people's energy. I'd overanalyze their tone, their body language, a vibe shift, like I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It wasn't just anxiety, it started to impact my relationships, friendships, work, dating. I took everything so personally, even when it had nothing to do with me. And honestly, I didn't know how to not do that. I was just trying to stay safe the way I'd always known how. In my head, everyone was secretly mad at me, disappointed, judging me, plotting a full on personality roast. But the thing is, I never actually asked. I never checked in with anyone. I just assumed. And assumptions are really convincing when your brain is already in survival mode. Before therapy, I kind of shut down. I pulled away from friends, hide from social media. I basically lived in my head, where imaginary people judged me for things I hadn't even done. So I finally brought all of this to therapy. And my therapist, being the magical human she is, helped me start peeling it all back. She said something that really stuck with me. Just like you're overthinking everything about yourself, everyone else is probably doing the same with their own stuff. Basically, people are busy. They're stressed, tired, anxious, hungry, dealing with breakups, job stress, existential dread. The works. They're not hyper fixated on my every move the way I thought they were. And I get it now. My reactions were learned. As a kid, I built armor. I looked for patterns to protect myself. It worked then, but now, that same armor was just weighing me down. So, she gave me a few questions to ask myself when I start spiraling. Did I actually do something that could have upset this person? Or am I just assuming? Did they say they were upset? Or is this just a remix of my old trauma playlist? Have I considered that maybe they're just having a rough day and it's not about me at all? These simple check ins have helped me breathe through the emotional fog. More often than not, when I reach out to someone I think is mad at me, they're just overwhelmed, burned out, tired, and surprisingly grateful that I checked in. That said, if someone does make you feel genuinely unsafe, it's always okay to walk away. But for me, I had to learn that not everyone was a threat. Not every quiet moment meant rejection. It's been a few months since that breakthrough, and yeah, I still get those weird tight feelings in my chest or throat sometimes. But now I pause. I breathe. I ask myself those questions. I reach out from curiosity, not fear. Surprisingly, those moments of fear have actually led to better conversations, real connection. And when someone is upset with me, I listen. I reflect. But I also ask, is this something I want to grow from? Not all feedback is worth changing yourself for. Life's too short to shrink yourself for people who don't even notice. Nowadays, I try to be seen, even when it's scary. I remind myself that not every bad feeling means something is wrong. Sometimes it's just a feeling. And sometimes, a walk outside and a deep breath in the sun is enough to remind me that my thoughts aren't always the truth. Looking back, I spent so much of my life afraid, of judgment, of being misunderstood, of just existing. But learning to pause, reflect, and ask better questions has changed everything. Healing isn't a straight line. I still have my moments. But now I've got tools. I've got awareness. And most importantly, I've got compassion for myself. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to be seen. You're not too much or too emotional or too complicated for needing reassurance or safety. So, if you're on a similar journey, navigating life with old wounds and new hope, just know that you're not alone. Healing is possible. And sometimes, it starts with a tiny moment of curiosity. Is this thought actually true? I'm still figuring things out, one day at a time. But I'm doing it with a little more grace, a little more courage, and a lot more belief in the idea that I deserve to feel safe, within myself and with the people around me. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough for now. If this resonated with you or even just made you feel a little more understood, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I've been going to therapy more regularly and thinking about turning this into a little series, kind of like a video diary of healing, with less pressure and more honesty. So let me know in the comments what you think, or if there's anything you'd want me to dive into next. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're not weird for feeling this way. You're just human.